Sicilian defense, closed, traditional line, 3.nf3. Giveaway. One player was winning, but then gave it away. Black got the better of white in that game. Black played better than white in the opening. Black found some nice moves in the middle game. Sharp games are frequently the result of starting with the king's pawn, since it dominates the center and frees up the bishop and queen on the light squares. The c-pawn in the Sicilian defense controls the d4 square. Nf3 moves the knight toward the center in anticipation of a pawn push on d4, where it will be ready to retake the piece if black captures on d4. Nc6 aids in maintaining control over the d4 and e5 squares. Nc3 develops the knight toward the center, supports the e4 pawn and controls the d5 square. By doing this, a knight moves out of its beginning square and into the action. By growing a bishop from its initial square, this activates it. The bishop will be better off as a result of this. This strikes a rival knight. This makes winning a pawn a possibility. This keeps the material balance in check with good commerce. Recaptures. A pawn kicks the opposing knight, forcing it to move or risk being captured. The knight is thus brought to safety. It is the final book action. This loses a chance to imply that winning a pawn is possible. It is incorrect. This overlooks an opportunity to develop a bishop by placing it on the long diagonal. It is an inaccuracy. The bishop is prepared to grow into a functional square. That's good. The knight can now control more squares as a result. That's good. This defends an underdefended pawn that is inadequately attacked. That's good. Although the score was nearly equal, white now has the upper hand. It is incorrect. This misses a chance to grow a queen outside of its initial square. It is incorrect. By doing this, a bishop moves out of its beginning square and into the action. That's good. By growing a queen from its beginning square, this activates the queen. It is ideal. By doing this, a queen moves off of its beginning square and into the action. That's good. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. This is the only good move. It is a great move. This misses a chance to make a pawn-winning threat. It is incorrect. There were worse maneuvers, but there were also much better ones. It is incorrect. Now that the rooks can see one another, they can defend one another. That's good. This gives the adversary the chance to win a tempo by posing a knight threat. It is incorrect. This buys time by putting a knight in danger and getting it to flee. It is ideal. This misses a chance to center a knight so that it can dominate more squares. It is incorrect. The bishop is now in a secure position. It is ideal. This misses a chance to advance a rook from its starting square. It is incorrect. It was a free pawn there. This poses a risk of winning a pawn. It is ideal. Thus, a pawn is lost. It is a mistake. This is the way to win a pawn. This is the only move that works. This was a game-changing move, giving black a winning position. It is a great move. Backs off. It is ideal. This is the only good move. It is a great move. This reveals an attack that poses a threat to a queen. It's compelled. That pawn was available for free. It is ideal. This gives away a free pawn. This allows the opponent to create a passed pawn. It is an inaccuracy. It was a free pawn there. It is ideal. When the queen retreats, this attack wins a tempo. It is ideal. The queen is therefore moved to safety. That's good. This raises the possibility of an eventual checkmate. It is incorrect. The knight can now control more squares as a result. It is ideal. This exchange is fair. It is quite good. Recaptures. It is ideal. A wise decision. It is quite good. As a result, the rooks are placed in a single file and are able to cooperate to pose a danger. It is quite good. A pawn can now effectively protect another piece because of this. It is ideal. Among the best actions. It is quite good. This avoids the queen's check. It is ideal. This suggests exchanging items of equivalent value. It is quite good. The queen is now on a square that is more secure. It is quite good. This deters an assault on a pawn that is weak. It is ideal. The queen is therefore moved to safety. It is ideal. This secures a pawn. It is ideal. This prevents a queen on the other side from checking. It's compelled. It was a free pawn there. It is ideal. This prevents a queen on the other side from checking. It's compelled. Perfectly on point. It is ideal. Backs off. It's compelled. A powerful play. It is quite good. That is a logical response. It is quite good. Thus, the attacked pawn is protected. That is good. A wise decision. It is quite good. Among the best actions. It is quite good. This accomplishes this by posing a threat to a rook and compelling it to flee. It is quite good. Now that the rook is on an open file, it is easier to control squares all over the board. It is ideal. This exchange is fair. It is ideal. This keeps the material balance in check with good commerce. It is ideal. A powerful play. It is quite good. That gets you a knight. It is ideal. The knight is now on a square that is more secure. It is quite good. That is a logical response. It is quite good. A wise decision. It is quite good. This is how you attract a knight. It is quite good. This moves the checking pawn farther away. It is quite good. This turns the pawn into a passed pawn, which means no other pawn may oppose it as it advances. It is ideal. What I would have advised is that. It is ideal. The rook is now in a safe position. It is quite good. This prevents a rival rook from checking. It is ideal. Very precise. It is best. Among the best actions. It is quite good. That pawn was available for free. It is quite good. A powerful play. It is quite good. This comes in several sections. It is ideal. The checking bishop is moved away in this move. It is quite good. Capturing that knight wins material. This is the start of the endgame and black is winning. It is excellent. That's a sensible reply. It is excellent. Giveaway one player was winning, but then gave it away. Black got the better of white in that game. Black played better than white in the opening. Black found some nice moves in the middle game. This exposes an attack, threatening a rook. It is excellent. Giveaway one player was winning, but then gave it away. Black got the better of white in that game. Black played better than white in the opening. Black found some nice moves in the middle game.